Hello, everyone. My name is Cass, and this is Tasha Taremi. We're coming to you from Astrodipity. Hello, happy Wednesday. Had to think about that one. Um, I do apologize for not having our podcast out on Sunday. We've had quite the hectic week, I'm sure, as everybody else. I hope that the weather is beautiful where you are, because, gosh, I have to say it's very, very hot here. Um, just a little tidbit on what Astrodipity is about. Astrodipity is an online dating platform for people that like astrology and believe in compatibility and your signs, etc. What we do is we take your time of birth, your place of birth, and your date of birth, obviously, and we incorporate that, and our algorithm works so that you are matched with other people that have similar charts, or that at least your zodiac signs are compatible. And I don't mean your sun sign, I mean your moon sign, your Venus, your Mars, all of that has to go together. Now, our dating site really isn't for people that just want to find their soulmate or their twin flame or anything like that. It's also for people who just want to meet new people, meet people who are like-minded, share some similar interests, get to know each other, and therefore you can form really deep, meaningful friendships rather than just random, superficial friendships and relationships. The goal is we want to help everybody, and we also want to have people love learning about themselves. So, just to give you a little example, I'm Cassandra Ritter, the owner and founder of this dating site. And one of the things I love about what we've done is we give you a choice of Western astrology or Eastern astrology, so Vedic or Vedic, however you want to pronounce it. And in my case, my chart starts with I'm a Virgo, just like Tasha is. Um, and my rising is Taurus, and my moon and my moon and my Mars is Leo, and things like that. But not only do I get to match up with other people that are similar to me, or our elements connect and are compatible, but I also get to read up on myself and learn about myself and get my horoscope every day and things like that. And if you want to go further than that, and you want to get into tarot readings or things like that, Tasha is responsible for doing collective readings. And you can also order and buy a personal reading from her from there as well, which is really cool because she is fantastic. Um, and she's always right on. And so, just to give everybody a little shout out, this is really important to me. And we are currently in California and expanding in the States. And we've just recently gone into India. And from there, we'll also be going into Sri Lanka and Australia, et cetera, et cetera. And we've got a lot of big plans, and it's very exciting to us. And from there, we're going to continue based on our podcast last week when we talked about manifesting. And we're going to dive a little bit deeper because Tasha has a lot of things that she wanted to tell us about. And also, there's a new moon coming up that I didn't even know about, that Tasha.
It's a full moon. I think it's a full moon in Capricorn.
Ooh, Capricorn.
Yeah. So I think that's June 21st. And that's actually one of the things I wanted to talk about, because full moons, a lot of people, they manifest during the full moon. But what I have noticed in my personal experience, full moon energy can be difficult because it can bring forward a lot of emotions, things that have been tapped down, things that you need to address, things that you need to release. I have also noticed, even though it's not a retrograde, full moon energy can interfere with day-to-day things, electronics. It's just kind of weird energy. When we have the full moon, you can notice that you're very tired. You could even have headaches during the full moon. I mean, let's face it, women have been known to give birth, or full moon energy has caused labor. So if it has the power to do that, why wouldn't it affect your mood or your emotions, that kind of thing. So what I wanted to bring up is the way I manifest, and everyone does it differently. The first thing, I write 2 separate letters. The first letter I write is a letter of release, forgiveness of anyone that has harmed me. I will name them. and I will write a letter of forgiveness. The second letter I write is a thank you letter to God, to the universe, for all that I'm manifesting as if it has already been given to me, and I'm giving gratitude. I burn both of those letters because to me, the concept of burning is putting it back into the universe, like sending it a smoke signal. That's the way I look at it. So it does work. You just have to be patient, and a lot of people aren't patient because we have been programmed to believe that we have to have immediate gratification. So that's not how manifestation works. You have to be patient, you have to be open, and you have to be in a high vibration to receive. So you have to be mindful during the full moon to make sure that you are in a high vibration, so that you are open to receive what you're manifesting, and you're not manifesting something that you don't want because of your vibration being lower. So
Yeah, I want to add to that on two things that I noticed. You're absolutely right, and I love your concept of burning the two pieces of paper. I've heard a lot of people say that's what to do. In fact, if you've ever had an experience with a psychologist or anything like that, they will tell you that's one of the ways they suggest for releasing emotions or past events or things like that. Um, I that's not one of my things, but there are so many ideas, and I think that's amazing. And the other thing I wanted to say is touching on what you said about the full moon. I don't know if other people out there realize that the moon itself, is hidden emotions and things like that, and things that need to be released. And that's what the moon is. So the moon, whether it be a full moon, uh, an eclipse, any of these things, they always do exactly what you said. They bring up emotions because
right.
the moon is all about the emotions. It's not about action. It's not about planning. It's not about any of the above. It's usually about emotions. And you're absolutely right. Strange things happen to everyone. You're either more emotional or you're not emotional at all. And you do always during a full moon or a new moon. So a new moon, typically, if this full moon is in Capricorn, which you just told us, that means that the new moon was before that. And when it was a new moon, usually new things start, and the full moon brings everything together. So you're definitely going to experience different things, just like Tasha said, whether it be breakdowns of vehicles or different things happening, but it is a full moon at that point, complete. And complete also is a way that things happen and you can experience lots of things, emotions and stuff like that. Getting back to what you're saying about manifesting, I wonder if anybody realizes or if anybody's even seen the movie Practical Magic. A long time ago. It was a wonderful
The
movie.
sisters, is that with Nicole Kidman?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, number 2 is coming out. And so if for anybody out there who loves astrology or new moons or believes in anything mystical, and I do, I not only believe, but I actively practice a lot of things. Maybe not magic. I'd love to learn about that, but I do believe wholeheartedly in the characteristics and the traits about people, and I understand all the astrology aspects. So that will be a fun movie and fun for people to see. So
Yeah.
besides the full moon, you were talking about different manifesting techniques and some of the 9 laws. I believe there's 9 laws.
There's actually 12,
12?
which
Is there
surprised me. Yes,
Right.
there's
So there's 3 extra ones that probably a lot of us don't use. And what we mean by laws is laws of when it comes to manifesting. So there isn't just the law of attraction. There are several other ones which you can bring us into.
so the first one is the law of divine oneness, which is basically it's a foundational law of the universe, and the law of divine oneness, which highlights the interconnectedness of all things. So having the understanding that we're all connected in some way. So then they go into like how to apply it. So it's like when something happens in your life, then you need to ask yourself, how can I show more compassion and acceptance towards those I don't understand, or what would love do? So it's basically having an understanding that every living being on this planet we are connected with in some way. So having compassion for another as if it were ourselves, that's basically the concept of, that oneness energy. The law of vibration, I really love the law of vibration because it talks about our frequency. And this applies to matter, but also one's personal frequency as well. The law says that our vibrational frequency can inform our lived experience. So it's a reflection of our inner vibration, the vibration that we're in. And it says you may be able to receive money, perhaps you can't hold on to it because vibrationally you could be operating on a lower level. So maybe you get to the vibration to be able to call in this money, but you're not able to hold on to it because you can't maintain the vibration that would permit you to maintain that level of financial security. So that's pretty interesting. And they said in order to help you with your vibration, to do practices like yoga, sound bathing, chakra work, meditation, prayer, all of these things are going to help you with your vibration. And I do want to interject something here because I think this is important with the work that I do. So a lot of times, because we are energetic beings, we pick up on energy and
Absolutely.
everything emits energy. When you are going by day to day and you feel an energy, okay, depression, anxiety, but there has been no event in that moment. Now, I'm saying nothing that physically happened or nothing in your memory that triggered the energy of depression or anxiety. You need to recognize that that is not your energy. So it's going to affect people more than others that are sensitive, but it will affect all people. It's just being aware of it, because if you're not aware of it, you can take on that energy of depression or anxiety and it doesn't even belong to you. So when you recognize that there was nothing that triggered that emotion, that feeling, you need to recognize that it's not your energy and send it away. I reject it. That's not my energy. So
And yeah, I agree with that. Just unless you are one of those people who are going through tough times or feeling something or aware that somebody else is hurting and it does happen to be your energy. At that point, once again, meditating and things like that are very, very helpful. Not everybody chooses to just sit still to meditate. In my case, I prefer to go for a beautiful long walk, and I love walking. Walking for me is one of the most amazing ways to clear my mind. I love and swimming and things like that. But just like you said, energy, we are all energy, and your vibration is very, very, very important. However, the day to day for everybody being a regular human, it's just not something most people are aware of. And most people aren't walking through their day or being through their day saying, hey, is my energy high or low, or what's this energy? So another really important thing to do is try and tap in and have more self-awareness as to what your thoughts are, what your feelings are. Because once you start tapping into the way you feel and also tapping into the way others make you feel, you can actually start to guide and help your life, or the things you want and the things you don't want, sort of change direction, which is a really, really important thing to pay attention to, because we are all just regular beings, and every single one of us have a ton to do every day and consistently have, issues or struggles or challenges. I'm going to call them challenges, because I think the word challenge is a much better word than, oh, this was a bad thing or a negative thing. No, use the word challenge. But every one of us experience all these, and we tend to forget or neglect what we're feeling or what's making us feel the way we feel. And rather than pay attention to our own energy, we just go off and complain about things. So it's just something to be aware of. I know 90% of us are not going to, go and say, well, tomorrow all I'm going to do is spend my time thinking about my energy. No, that's not going to happen, and it's not realistic. It's just a tip, and it's just, even if you have 1 second to say, why am I feeling this way, or what's going on? And is this my energy I'm taking on, or is it somebody else's? That's quite important as well.
Also, when you have the understanding of energy, the more you learn about energy, you're able to look at obstacles as learning opportunities. So you're no longer coming from a negative mindset when things don't go the way you perceive they should. You are taking a step back and saying, okay, universe, there's something I need to learn here. And so that changes that pessimistic outlook to an optimistic one. And that can make a huge difference. Another way to cleanse your energy is go to the dollar store, buy a bag of white Epsom salt, put a handful in a warm bath, light a white candle, which you can also get at the dollar store for $1, and set the intention to cleanse your energy. If you live by the ocean, jump in the ocean. Be careful for sharks. There's a lot of attacks going on right now, but these are all different ways to cleanse your energy, and it is important. It is very, very important to be tapped in with your own energy.
Right, but you also don't need to have all these things. Cleansing your energy, you can do that. Once again, what does cleanse my energy and brings me peace is, like I just talked about, going for a long walk.
Yeah.
That whole experience, and I don't just walk slowly or anything like that. I walk to walk. That is my
Right.
intent. Because I have that intention, I come back a different person. Of course, it doesn't last for everybody. A lot of people take Epsom salt baths.
Right.
Um, and then other people take vacations, which is
Well,
definitely a wonderful thing to do.
exercise actually will raise your vibration. Exercise alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it raises your dopamine as well.
Yeah.
So it doesn't always have to be an energy thing for all of us. We can also talk about the fact that just the chemicals in our brain, these things are scientifically backed up.
Right.
So they help everybody, just the human experience. But just getting back to things, different laws and everything. There's also the law of desire, which I believe we talked about last week, which to me is fundamentally more than just the law of attraction. The law of attraction attracts things to you, but you need all the other things to actually make that happen. The law of desire, having the intent, you can call it the law of intention as well, is very, very important. And if you don't feel it and don't believe it in yourself, like we said last week, you can draw negative things to you or you can draw positive things to you. But one of the fundamental things I think about making big changes, and I'm going to say this all day long, is when you want a big change to happen, if you don't change something, those changes won't happen. And so you can talk about it, you can talk about energy, you can talk about sleeping more, meditating, doing yoga, crystals. By the way, I'm big, big, big believer in crystals, by the way, that they harness energy themselves. So I love crystals and wearing crystals and things like that. But like I said, if you're not changing anything, and usually it takes a drastic change for a drastic change to happen. Not always, not saying always. It could be a little thing and a big, tower moment will happen. But if you do change something big, example, letting someone go or leaving a relationship or telling a family member you're cut off and that's it, I don't want to talk to you. Trust me when I tell you that things are going to change. And whatever's meant to change is going to start changing. And whatever mindset you're keeping with that is going to follow that as well. Because all of these things are, the best way I can put it, are like putting a recipe together. When you're in the kitchen, you need a bunch of different herbs and spices to make that meal complete. And if you want it to be a beautiful meal that you're serving and entertaining with, that's going to make everybody go, "Oh my God, what did you make?" Well, you've got to have the little pieces and parts that go together to blend together and make that wonderful meal. And I'm a foodie, so I can definitely
Right.
say that. But it's the same thing in our lives, and too many of us focus on our everyday experiences and this happened and that happened to so and so and gossip about it and talk about it, and that's what we do because we are human, and none of us will ever be able to follow this true, 100%. But like Tasha said, just the awareness, if you're just more self-aware and aware of your thoughts and aware of your desires and your intention and your energy, you can really direct your life to go a different way altogether. And it takes just that little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I'm getting ready to sneeze. No, it's not gone. It's gone. So the
I
one thing
directed that. I
I
caught.
wanted I wanted to add to so when you're talking about putting action, just to explain a little bit further. So like I talked about the last video, my sister wanted to get a stay-at-home job. So what did she do? Her form of manifestation was to create a space in her home for an at-home office, getting the desk, preparing everything
Smart.
before she even got the job, because she
Smart.
knew it was on the way. So she was aligning with her belief that it was already hers. And so by doing that, the universe is like, oh, it belongs to her. That's what she's meant to have.
Her mind was set. It
Yeah.
was set. And if you are one of the few, and I'm going to put that out there, it's not, we are all not professionals when it comes to things like this. But when you do have moments like that, where your mind is so set in stone, like her sister, well, that's coming to you. This is without
Right.
a doubt. It's coming. It is a matter of time. Like you said, a lot of people aren't patient, but guess what? That's where all of us struggle as well. And we can talk about it till the sun goes down and the moon
Yeah.
comes up, rises. But we're all guilty of that. I have a lot of Leo in me, and Leo's, if you know anything about Leos or fire signs for that matter, Sag right here. Sag, Virgo over here. We're action orientated. So if you are a fire element, which I'm just going to change subjects for 1 second, if you are a Leo, Sag, or Aries, one thing that you can be certain of is we're not good at being patient. We can act like we're patient. We can come across as we're patient. People might see us as patient. Guess what? Inside, because we're action orientated, we are not patient. Inside, we're going, no,
Right.
no, I want it now. I want it now. I want it now. If you can control that and have some sort of balance and learn to be patient, and patience, honestly, patience is really a skill. It's not something that you easily, unless you're different. Um, if you can be patient, like her sister, that stuff is going to happen, guaranteed. She's got the desk, she's got the chair. That is happening. That self-employment is happening. And
And
you're
and it did happen. The other thing I want to mention for those that aren't spiritual, you can get Joe Dispenza's book, which clearly explains manifestation from a scientific based truth. I mean, it's true. He can prove everything. So if you're science based, you're not spiritual, then read Joe Dispenza's book, because he can back every single thing that he talks about when it comes to manifesting from a scientific
yeah,
point of view.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
and I will say, no matter what, anybody out there, you're either spiritual, you're either religious, in other words, everybody believes in something that's either the universe up there, that's God, or that's the spirit guides.
yeah.
One of those things every person on this planet believes in. Oh no, okay, I just think the universe, it's just one big universe, or I think it's my spirit guides talking to me, or it's God talking to me. Either way, the laws apply to everybody. And I maybe the law itself, whoever came up with that term, maybe it isn't the actual term that we should be living by or abiding by, and it should be called something else, more like this is what actually works. But it doesn't matter how you explain it, law or goal or rule, let's call it the rules. If you feel it, it's going to happen. If you believe it, it's going to happen. Don't just speak it out. Of course, talk about it, but the more you're dedicated to it and you think it's going to happen, the more you believe it, it's almost bound to happen to you anyways.
Yeah.
And then of course you have all these other things that contribute to all of it, and that is just the characteristics of the zodiac signs and things like that, and positive affirmations. All of this is also important because our mindset is everything and how we think is everything. And we all go through moments that we have situations happen to us and we can't understand why. And then we go down the negative road and spiral down. Well, the reality is we can't plan everything in life, but we definitely do have a say in how it unfolds to some degree.
And
Which
how we respond and how
and
we
how we respond, that's even more important. Actually,
right.
it's more important. How we
Yeah.
respond. Yeah.
So that kind of leads us into the law of correspondence, which this is the law that on a personal level, our reality is a mirror of what's happening inside us at the moment. Think so as above, so below, as within or without. So it's like, the universe mirrors back to us what is inside of us, what's going on inside of us. And so when they talk about how to apply this, if our life is chaotic and fearful, it's because there's chaos and fear within. If our life seems calm and grounded, it's because we feel peace within. So in any troubling situation, they suggest that you can show about yourself and what requires healing within. It shows you what you need to heal. I just said that completely backwards, but you know what I'm saying. I don't know what I was reading. But it's basically asking you to look a little deeper, look within. What is it that I am mirroring back to the universe in me that I need to work on? That's what they're saying. Whenever there's any kind of, fearful or chaotic energy.
Now that's easy for someone like us, let's say, in what you just said, for two people who are both Virgos here and both very, very analytical and all about being self-aware, which you and I both are. But that's not easy for a lot of people who just aren't like that, who live day to day or who are, let's say, impulsive. They're impulsive thinkers, impulsive doers, impulsive. We're not obviously impulsive in that respect. But what would you say to someone who was completely impulsive and never sits down to think about themselves because that's not who they are as a person?
Well,
How can they change their direction or change their let's say have their big dreams come true? Actually, I think I already have the answer, and probably they're not going to, because
well,
really without doing the work, you
yeah,
can't.
that's what I was going to say. They have to get sick and tired of their way of
That's
existing
what
and
it is.
do their due diligence and do research and educate themselves on energy. What, how much desire do they have to see change occur in their life? Or do they want to be in a perpetual loop of victim mentality? Nothing ever goes right for me. I can't manifest anything. And that energy, you won't. You'll manifest more opportunities to be a victim.
Beautifully said. And, I'm gonna just throw something out there for anybody who's dealing with, um, health issues or anything. I'm not saying that you are in no way am I a believer that you are born with, your lifestyle or your parents or your families, because I had somebody on a TikTok live bring this up a couple weeks back. In no way am I saying that's the case. Unfortunately, none of us really do choose these things, and your reality sometimes doesn't even have anything to do with you. It's not because you thought poorly or badly or anything like that. Sometimes things just happen. This is life, and life. The reality of life is that people get sick, children get sick. It's not because they manifested it or anything like that. Sometimes it just is the way things are. But for anybody out there, just know that I'm not saying positive thinking is the way to solve everything. All I'm trying to say is it's a part of it. It can help increase the joy rather than live in the misery. But I also understand that fear and awareness sometimes your situation or your circumstances For some people, it's just too much, and positive thinking is just not going to happen. And I'm very compassionate for people like that as well,
Mhm.
because it's unfortunately not everybody is capable of putting on a smile when things aren't going right, which is also human, very
Right.
human. And
No, I agree with that. I do. I agree with that. And I've seen a lot of YouTube. Actually, they were NDEs, different situations where people had experiences, but not like you said. Not every bad thing that happens to someone is because they have manifested it. It's hard to have all the answers, but acceptance and going with the flow and trying to stay in a high vibration will help any situation. It's going to be
will help
far
it.
greater.
Yeah,
Yeah, far greater than the negative aspect, which, let's face it, as humans, when we get bad news, it is devastating. And
yeah,
and tears cleanse the soul. You have to cry. It's good
yeah,
to cry. It cleanses your soul.
yeah.
So if something sad has happened to you, if you've had a health scare or a health issue, it's okay to cry. Your soul needs you to purge it. So cry. There's
if
nothing wrong
if
with that.
that's your way of dealing with things, yeah. Um, and I also think that sometimes you could be thinking all the right thoughts and manifesting all the right ways and following our guidance or YouTube or any author out there, and sometimes things just won't go the way you hoped. And you did everything in your power. And I can also say that's also part of life. And so, unfortunately, I think what I'm trying to say is that it's not necessarily going to change everybody's life. But the whole reason for positive affirmations and positive thinking and these little manifesting tips is just to make you feel a little bit better in the first place.
Right.
And whatever comes of it, hopefully your dreams come true and everybody's dreams come true. That's what I wish for everybody in the first place, that they have health and wellness and abundance and compassion and, all of
Love.
those things. Love, yeah, and lots of luck in life
Yeah.
too, because I do believe that because we are human beings in this world, on this planet, that some things we really don't have control over. And you can put anything in your mind over and over again. Yes, you'll affect change and everything, but some things that are just completely out of our reach and out of our control, which is so unfortunate, that is going on all over the world and things like that. And you've got these negative things. Um, that I really, it's super unfortunate for anybody and
Right.
everybody. And I wish we had the answers to go in and help with that as well. But
Well, I can tell you what I do, which isn't really manifesting, but every single night, I pull from my heart space and I feel that love energy and I project the vibration of love to every soul on the planet. So I envision the world and it rotating and a light pink energy, which is the love I'm sending, and it just enveloping the entire world. And I do that every night. That's my way of spreading love into the world and to every human soul, no matter how good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. I do it every night. And I feel like if more people would do that, would tap into that love energy and project it out into the world, it can't hurt. It can only help.
oh no, it won't. Yeah, it'll definitely help.
Yeah.
Um, Even though that's not it's unfortunate, but some people just don't even have roofs over their head or
Yeah.
are poor, and there's no reason to have hope right now for them
Right.
because they're experiencing something catastrophic.
That's
That's
why people in a higher vibration can send them love and aid them.
Yeah, well, the aid would be the love in the first place because it's definitely a need. Um, so on that note, I wanted to ask, so as far as dating now, when we get into dating, and what are some of the ideas that you have that would help someone manifest the right date?
Okay. I got you on this one. So, first thing is you need to release all negative people, places, or things in your life. So if you're still talking to toxic ex-girlfriends, boyfriends, family members, past friends, they have to go. I'm sorry, but they do.
Question. I have to interject. Should you actually be talking to exes?
No,
Right. You
no,
are. You're
no.
right. You're right.
So because they're an ex for a reason, okay?
Good point.
So the next thing is, what if you have done that and you're working on your vibration, you're in a high vibration, then you need to find out, what do I want in a partner? What does my perfect partner look like? What are the specifics? Okay, he's 6'1", he's, got brown eyes, he's sweet, he's kind, he's loving, he's compassionate, he's emotionally mature, he's a good communicator, he's caring, he's a great caregiver, he's stable. I'm going to write down on a piece of paper very specifically what I want in a partner. From there, I'm going to start giving thanks and gratitude for this partner coming into my
This
life.
is your way, right?
Yes. And it works. It works.
You're cute.
Then you daydream that you are with this person. They have come into your life. You are cooking dinner together. You are going on walks. You are going on dates. You're envisioning your wedding. You're envisioning your honeymoon. You're envisioning growing old together. You are daydreaming about this person day in and day out. You're not asking over and over again. Continuing to ask lowers your vibration because there's anxiety attached to it.
What do you think about the people, though? For instance, there must be an age to this. So let's say you're 20 to 30. That's not the way the younger generation acts, right? That's not what they're doing. They're doing the list. They might be, have a list in their head of what they want. No, I have to have a girl this height and so on and so forth. Or a girl from 20 to 30. So a young woman might have their own ideas. But at that point, from 30 to 40, it changes. From 40 to 50, it changes. From 50 to 60. Not everybody is going to do things the way they've done them every so often, right? Because at some point, I'll give you an example. So everything you just said, yes, awesome. But there's a lot of men I've talked to with regards to dating, and I've asked them what would they do, and one of them said, well, I've tried every dating site, and the other one said, oh, I went to every restaurant, and the other one said, oh, I have my ideal perfect person, and they should be making this much money, and they should have this. And why do we need to have a list in the first place? Why can't it just be, let's see what happens, let's meet the right person? Why do we even need to want a relationship is my question.
Okay,
Why?
you want to know why we need lists? Because the universe has jokes. Let me just tell you that. So if you're not specific, then you're going to get something that you're not expecting. So, and to me, whether you create it in your mind or you write it down or you create a vision board, however you maintain your focus on what you want, that's fine. The end result's the same.
You're right. The universe likes to play jokes.
Oh, yes. That's like, the man that wanted a Ferrari so bad, he prayed, he was manifesting it. He wasn't very specific because his wife bought him a toy Ferrari. Was it you that told me that, or did I see it online?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the jokes. That's the jokes. Like my little, horse on springs that I was manifesting when I was 9 years old. I got a horse with springs because I wasn't specific. It needed to eat, drink, and poop,
Yep. Yeah. No,
like I get what you're saying, that everyone is different in how they manifest based on their age group, based on, things like that. But ultimately the end result's the same. They know what they want. Whether it's, however they execute that to remain focused on that, the end result's the same. So do what you feel comfortable. But if you don't have a plan, how can you expect to get what you exactly want? You're going to get.
This is where the debate comes in,
Yes.
because for a lot of people, the person they end up with or the person they've ended up dating wasn't someone that they ever saw them dating in the first place. They never, ever, ever saw it coming. And it was completely like, no, this man isn't tall after all. He's 5'4". There, some people, they have their guidelines. They have their guideline is not the right word. Some people have their, this is the way I want it, period, point blank. There's no other way to see it. I want this. And then what if you're missing the right person? You're missing the right person because of your standards, and your standards are pretty much superficial at that point. However, we all do have our own style and our own taste and want certain things, but you can go down the road where you start getting into, well, they better make this amount of money, or no, they're no good, or they better drive this kind of car, because if they drive a beat up car, you might be missing your soulmate if
Right.
you're not willing to change. However, I can say that I understand everybody has their thing. There are certain things that turn all of us off as well, and certain things that without knowing what they have or what they do or what they are or what their past was, that you'll just say nope.
Yeah.
some Something in them. It might be the character, it might be their furry eyebrows, it might be, anything. It could be anything.
'Cause I
So
think it's
I don't know.
important for them to pick what's most important. Like the superficial things, okay, that's your preference, whatever. But
Exactly.
what's really important? That they're loving, they're kind, they're empathetic, they're a
That's
good
what's
communicator.
important to us though, right?
But in reality, in all relationships, that's important.
It should be. It should be, but not everybody needs that. Some people don't even need the whole cuddling, the intimacy, or anything like that. Some people just want a handsome guy to, have on their arm, or a handsome girl, or a beautiful woman to have on their arm. Some people just want things like that because they really don't have a need. They've been there, done that. They've had
Right.
too many relationships, or not any for that matter. There are so many. That's why I bring up Astrodipity, and that's why I say Astrodipity for me is so amazing. And the idea of basing dates and finding someone compatible, the idea of, matching your moon and your sun. Example, a Virgo goes really well with another earth sign, uh, or a water sign, because compatible fire goes really, really well with air signs or fire signs, et cetera, et cetera. That's why this site is so important. And what we did is so important. And hopefully, feedback. Hopefully, we get a lot of feedback from people, because I want all the feedback. I want to hear people's love stories, hear who they met, hear what they didn't like, hear what they did like. I want to hear about the signs. I saw something going around on TikTok, and they were talking about, I think it was about our sign, Virgos. Oh, yeah, it was something to do with Virgos. And it was saying Virgos are this, Virgos are that, Virgos are this. Now, we can all agree with certain things. And for the most part, is a Virgo a perfectionist? Absolutely. Is a Virgo, does a Virgo analyze to death? Absolutely. Does that make Virgo a hard worker? Absolutely. Does that make a Virgo kind? We'll go, you know, beyond, above and beyond, because we're perfectionists. So that part was sort of left out. You know how we're perfectionists? Well, that means in many other ways as well. And other people can use their imagination for that, because we don't believe in people pleasing, but we like to be of service to others. It's not people pleasing at all. It's being of service to other, because we're good-hearted people. So all these things, I see this go on, and that's why I want other people's feedback, because you're not just your sun sign, you're so much more than your sun sign. And all the parts of your character are very important. Yes, you have dominant parts to you. I'm dominant Virgo, dominant Leo. I have Pisces in me. I have Scorpio in me. I have Libra in me. Um, Venus rules my chart, so I'm all about love. And the same for you. You've got Sagittarius in you and all these other placements, which make you who you are. But at the same time, people don't realize that there's good parts and there's negative parts. We're not going to say bad, but that all of it matters, and it all plays a role fundamentally in in who we get along with and who we don't get along with and how we do things. And once you have a good understanding of how you do things and what you do and why you do it, us earth signs get very interested. However, a fire sign might not be that way. They might say, well, I don't care about that. That's okay.
Well, I think that so I'm a Cancer moon and Mark is a Virgo moon. And I feel like the moon, which is the emotional energy,
Yeah.
is where we connect so well because, he's more like a Virgo and I'm more like a Cancer. So when it comes to the compatibility,
Always your sun, there are, I just want to throw this out there for people. Your sun and your moon compatibility is very, very important, and your moon and your moon as well. So your moon, the fact it's earth and water is beautiful, is a beautiful combination. You said you were the Cancer moon and he was
Virgo moon.
the Virgo moon. Okay, now you take the Virgo that you are, and his Virgo, that's also very compatible. The sun and the moon combination is usually one of the ways that any astrologer or any person who does any compatibility through synastry, like our app, the sun and the moon combination is a very, very special one because it's an indicator of long lasting love. It's an indicator of a soul tie, a soul connection, not just a soul mate, but a soul tie. So Virgo, me being a Virgo, let's say, my perfect fit would be someone with a water moon or a earth moon. You've got it right there. He's an earth, which matches your earth, and that's beautiful. That's really, really beautiful. And that's one of, I think there's 8 main indicators. That's one of them. Sun and moon combination is very, very important. What's also a good indicator is, just think of it this way, is if you're opposites, and opposites, they come together for a reason. Opposites are there to teach each other, to grow together, to build together, and usually opposites complement each other. Whereas when you're too much the same, that's where you have problems. You're most likely not to end up together.
Right.
Where people show you all the time an Aries Venus and a Libra Venus are like a beautiful combination. However, they're complete opposites. They're polar opposites, in fact. But what a beautiful combination that is. It's super powerful, super passionate, super loving, super fair. There's many positive things. So that's wonderful for you.
Yeah.
And once again, for Astrodipity, that's one of our big, big special things. And the other thing is that we are going absolutely global at this point, not just the United States, but India, as well as Sri Lanka, and then further than that. So I think compatibility through zodiac signs and zodiac placements is a really, really good and different way, rather than just saying, well, this is my list and I'd like to go on a date with this person. And look
Right.
at the picture.
Yeah, I think that you're more likely to, based on the synastry, you're more likely to connect with someone that's going to get you on a level that you wouldn't randomly find because they take all the factors into, all of your placements, their placements, and if you are compatible. So to me, that's like an advantage. It's giving you an extra advantage to just blindly dating someone without having any backstory of their placements.
Blindly dating. I love the way you just said that. No, it's true. It's because unlike a lot of people, I guess being on a dating site is blind dating essentially, but it's not, because on our site you can chat with the person, you can video chat, so but I was just wondering, is you and Mark, I just want to say something else based on, you just said your moon is Cancer, his is Virgo, but your sun is Virgo, and that's why you have that tattoo, right? Did you do that recently, or
Well,
you?
no, it's this one. It's this one. It's
Yeah,
the sun and the moon. So, it's I just liked it, duality, balance of light and dark,
but you
negative
realize
and
the
positive.
importance of that, right? And the
Mhm.
story behind that, and it's funny. It's funny that you have that because it's the very one I want. Maybe not that picture. That's the very thing I've always wanted, the sun and the moon.
You
And
need to get it.
yeah, if you think the sun and the moon are there for so many reasons, but the sun and moon in astrology it's such a beautiful thing. So kudos to you guys, to you and Mark, because I love that and I love seeing that, and I want to see that in all our customers and our clients, and hopefully have them on our podcast and do stories with them. If not me, you do the stories with them, but I would love that experience.
Well, and just be aware that the spiritual realm is not opposed to using a dating site to align you with your soulmate. So don't worry if you think that you're manifesting a soulmate and, oh, if I go on a site, then the universe isn't going to be able to align my partner. That's the furthest from the truth. The spiritual realm will use any means necessary to align the person that's compatible, the one that's destined to be with you. So that's how I met Mark, was a dating site. So
Yeah.
the universe can work in magical ways to bring about an alliance with someone that is your best partner, the person that's meant to be with you.
Right. And the other thing is, you're so much better off to believe in love and believe in the fairy tale and believe in that beautiful. Obviously, I'm speaking to women out there because men would be saying, okay, stop. But obviously, I am a hopeless romantic. Clearly, I am to be saying this because there's not a chance in the world that any men I know are going to be going, yeah, we have to believe in love and magic. No, they're going, rolling their eyes. But I'm just trying to say, really, you're so much better off just to believe rather than settle. Just don't
Yeah.
settle. Don't just pick someone. Don't expect that your relationships are going to be perfect because, by the way, a relationship does not fall in your lap. A relationship is built. It doesn't come to you. It doesn't matter who you meet. You have to build it. So you can be together with a person for a year and say, well, it's not working out. You have to build it. If you don't build it, you don't have a relationship, and that's why it's not working. It's not for any other reason but that. Because really, everybody has an opportunity to make a sibling relationship work, a family relationship work. If it's not working for you, don't, of course. But do not expect that it should just be a bed of roses, because that is not real at all. It's not real. And it's just not a good expectation to have, because you have to build that relationship. Just like you build a house, the house doesn't fall on to you unless you've decided I'm living under, the little one down the corner.
Well, and I would give those that are in the dating world some advice. Number one, be your true authentic self. Don't pretend to be someone that you're not.
Advice.
And if someone doesn't accept you, you need to swipe left. They are not for you. You're looking for authenticity, and by you being authentic, you're going to align with someone that's authentic. And if you don't align with them, you're going to see that they're not authentic because you are operating in your own authenticity. There was a second point now, and I can't remember it, but
that was the best one.
That was the best one. There's too many people that they think they have to pretend, whether they have to pretend to be, glamorous, or pretend to be rich, or pretend to be intelligent, more intelligent than they are, or, it all boils down to real love. Do you want to attract someone that is wearing a mask because you're projecting the image of someone wearing a mask? Or do you want someone that's authentic? Remember that, because you're attracting what you are.
Well said.
Yeah.
Wow, that's well said. You're attracting what you are. No,
Yeah.
truth be told, you're attracting what you are. And yeah. And if you just want casual and you just want to have fun, that's one thing. And then do what you do.
Right.
But if you are looking for someone, and you have to be willing to know that you are not the same as they are not the same as you. You have to be willing to listen, to be there, to understand that you might need to work on yourself as well. should it be needed, because everything takes a little bit of compromise, and that's how you complement one another. You don't complement one another because you are driving this and you're wearing this and you're blonde and he's brunette. You might look good together, but to complement a person is to actually be mature enough to want to work on things and build. And the other thing, the so yours was be authentic, and there's nothing that can compare to what you just said. That is the be all end all in any relationship, friendships as well. Um, but the other thing I think would be, if you're just playing because you want something to do, that's on you, and that will come back to you. And you'll never get emotional satisfaction from that. And the other thing is, don't waste other people's time. Nobody should waste anybody's time, because it's time, and time is the most valuable thing we have. Time is everything. And that's why what you said is the most important thing. Being authentic is everything, hands down. Period. That should be the title of this podcast, in
Be
everything.
authentic. Yeah. The
And
other thing
that's
is,
what we should do. That's what we should talk about next time. And that,
yeah, I mean, the other thing is it's very important that if you go through a traumatic relationship, you take the time off to heal, to evaluate what that experience was meant to teach you, why you called in that partner, and before you jump into dating. Because I'm telling you, if you don't heal from whatever that traumatic relationship was, and you don't find what that wound is in you and work on it, you will call in a repeat karmic lesson, which is another partner exactly like the one that just fell apart. So it's important. And I want everyone to be successful in love. I want everyone to have the most amazing love, but you have to give yourself a fighting chance. So do your due diligence, you know?
totally right. Totally right. Yeah. And not every ending is traumatic because the relationship was bad. An ending is an ending. And I think all endings, period, if you walk away from your sister or your cousin, also can be very traumatic. Friendships as well, any experience, a pet as well. I think all of those actually are traumatic, period. For endings are meant, what? They're not meant to feel good. When you
Right.
start something nice, that feels great from the beginning. But if you're not willing to build it, well, it's going to end. That ending is never meant to feel good, but it is meant to teach us something. We are meant to take away from those experiences. I know most of us don't. We all take away a little something. It's very dependent on how mature you are and how self-aware you are, what you're going to take away. You can take away huge things from it. You can actually heal, trauma that's been there for years, like you pointed out. There's, things that are in us that need to be worked on. But definitely those are very, very wise words, Tasha. Very, very wise words. Yeah,
From
absolutely.
experience, from not doing the right thing, I've learned
Yeah,
those things.
when you think of any boy or girl or woman or man or woman and woman or guy and guy, and everybody has something negative to say about an ending, right? But that's
Right.
because it's an ending,
Mhm.
and if you did have any feelings, then there should be some pain associated with it.
Right.
And you've either got the pain because you didn't put in the work when you had the chance, or you've got the pain because why? Well, because
You carried the relationship. You
you carried
overgave.
the relationship. Exactly. So
Yeah.
it can't be really for any other reason, because we're not meant to waste people's time. We're not meant to be in it for the sake of, no other reason. And somebody always ends up paying for it, somebody. And
Right.
if both are paying for it, well, then you should figure it out, and, or move on and still take something away from that. What could I have done? Or what is it that I'm feeling that, is making me react the way I react? That's another thing that is very, very big when it comes to manifesting. And that's like you said earlier, your response to things. Well, your reaction, your response is something that we all have to be more aware of, how we respond to anything we get in life, whether it's a relationship, a job, a house, a home, whatever. How we're responding is going to affect things down the road, the future. If we're responding negatively in a relationship and we're not, being compassionate to the other person's needs and things like that, that reaction is going to have an impact on us as well. So it's really a two-way thing here that we all have growing to do and work to do, and that's something we should do. What
Yeah,
were you
I agree.
what were you thinking?
No, I agree with what you're saying, that I think self-awareness is the biggest thing. Self-awareness and not projecting. If there is a breakdown in a relationship, it takes two. So we can't point the finger. We have to be self-aware. We have to be accountable. Accountability is another term that's very important
Yeah.
because it does take two people. So
Yeah.
if you are one of those people that have a relationship that falls apart and you say, oh no, I did absolutely nothing wrong, then you have an issue with accountability. You need to work on that because we are all responsible for some contribution to the breakup. I don't even care. Even say this person was the most toxic person in the world. Well, what was your contribution? Well, I was codependent. I overgave. I ignored the red flags. I didn't heal from wounds that put me in the codependent energy. That would be you taking accountability for what you contributed toward
And
this
then you have to
toxic
ask
relationship.
why.
Yeah.
Why did you overgive? Why did you? Because at that point, your reasons are wrong as well. The
Yeah.
very fact you're doing any of these things, well, there's reasons behind those reasons. We could
Yes.
go on, and technically, we're not psychiatrists or
No.
psychologists, but the reality is, we just want everybody to find love. And if it's not love that you're looking for and not a serious, committed relationship, you're just looking for that companion, somebody that's at least compatible with you based on your zodiac chart and your other interests. I mean, they do both go hand in hand. You can't just have one without the other. Of course, interests matter. If one person likes animals and the other one hates animals, then stay away. Like, don't even go there.
Right.
But the reality is we've given you an extra option where you don't have to just pick based on a picture or some superficial stuff, because anybody can do that. If you're
Right.
looking for something a little bit more serious, this would be the way. And then, of course, we could have a conversation about it. And anything that you have to say before we let
I
go?
have some things that I'm going to talk about on the next one because it's going to take me a little bit longer to bring up, but it's very important and very valid. So
I love
I
it.
don't have any more for today.
Any more for today?
Yeah, no more.
Okay, so on that note, I'm saying goodbye for now. I'm Cass, signing off until Sunday. We will be back with you this Sunday at 11 o'clock, live on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram as well as Twitter and TikTok. And Tasha,
Actually, we're going to be back Monday. We're going to record Monday.
you're right.
Monday at 5:30, probably at 5:30.
You're right. Thank you for
So,
that.
yes,
Already
get your manifestations ready for the full moon, June 21st. Make sure you're in a high vibration. Make sure you're being consciously aware of your energy. If you need to release, purge, whatever you need to do to stay in that high vibration, do it.
right. And that full moon again is in Capricorn. So we're talking definitely sturdy and strong. And oh my gosh, it's going to be quite the week. So
Yes.
bye for now. Signing off
Right.
from Cass. Bye, Tasha.
Goodbye. Have a great evening.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.